Inspired by the Mary Chain, the Pastels, and Primal Scream, the underground music scene in Glasgow is thriving, and an ex-mining community on the outskirts was home to the next wave.
Oh, parting is such sweet sorrow, so can I please see you tomorrow?
3 bands who formed there would achieve cult and mainstream success with chart hits and worldwide acclaim. Teenage Fanclub, the Soup Dragons, and the BMX Bandits, all the creation of 3 childhood friends.
So where will we start, Douglas? When did we meet?
I think we met in 1982.
I'm not that old.
Yeah. I remember Norman once saying in an interview I saw about Bellsill being a dump. And it wasn't the best place in the life place. But I was thinking about how grateful in a funny way I am that we came from Bellsill, because I sort of think it was a very important thing that the 3 of us gained some sort of strength through meeting each other.
And we gave each other confidence.
Well, hello, Douglas.
Hello.
Question 1, what does pop mean to you?
Pop. Of course, there's pop art instantly comes to mind with people like Andy Warhol, just to drop a few names. And of course, pop music, which is really what we're all about.
Right, I see.
So I met Douglas in the art class at our school. We both went to Bellsill Academy. Douglas came up with this idea that we could go out in the streets in Bellsill and pretend that we were a Tomorrow's World camera crew. I would be the cameraman and Douglas would be Judith Hahn. Now this sounds insane, but we did this.
You know, get a mic from a tape recorder we had and go up the street and kind of like talk to pretty girls by pretending we were out filming for the BBC. We always would encourage a kind of daftness and mischievousness in each other and egg each other on.
I'd kind of hooked up with Norman because I felt like he was the only other kind of oddball and dreamer that I could find in Bellsill. But then he'd found you.
Well, I guess there's no one to blame, 'cause we're in this situation all together.
Bellsill, there was 2 things you did. You played football or you were a poof. I was a poof, so I made music. When I was about 8, I was taught how to play classical guitar, because I think that's how my mother and father kind of thought that'll keep them busy.
I also remember Sean as a child, because in the street that I lived in, there was a guy who gave guitar lessons to people. I've got a memory of Sean walking down the street maybe every, well, I can't remember, I'm going to guess it was a Thursday.
I always hated it because it was always on a Thursday night, the same time as bloody Top of the Pops. So it kind of ruined Top of the Pops for me.
He was the first guitarist in the Bellsill scene.
Well, this is my own little world within a world, and this is where I lie at night on my bed.
And down here, my record collection, some of my favourites. Village People, the Beach Boys, Robin Gristle. I like all sorts of music. I like to keep my tastes very wide. And here, we've got something rather special.
It was Douglas that I met first. He's gonna kill me when I say this. But it didn't, because I mean, I went to an all-girls school, so I didn't have a big experience of talking to the opposite sex. So when I was talking to Douglas, it didn't feel like I was talking to the opposite sex. We could talk about anything to each other.
I met a girl called Frances McKee, and I thought she was like the most amazing creature, human being I'd ever met. I was just like, I just want to be around this person all the time. And Frances said to me, oh, I'd really love to be in a group. And I was like, I'm forming a group.
I've got a memory of us one summer being in a park in Bellsill. I think we thought it was a gig, but it was basically just us in a park playing to nobody.
I couldn't play an instrument. Douglas was doing something, and Norman and Sean, and suddenly it was my turn to do something. So I sang this song that I used to sing in primary school. Norman put some music to it, and that's really how it all started.
Those were the kind of gigs that we did, you know, happenings, I guess you would call them.
I still can't believe we did this, and sometimes I actually think, was this a dream? But did we have a band called Child Molesters that played my school?
Yeah.
We did that gig at my school when Douglas sang, I've got a little biscuit tin to keep your panties in.
so we got banned. We were quite happy at that.
We were playing a show in the Hat and Rig Hotel, and there was people outside boycotting it because of the name. And I mean, I think that shows the sort of level of naivety with me, because I said, well, what's the problem? Douglas phoned me up one night and he said, look, I'm changing the name to Pretty Flowers. I said, I really don't like that name. And that's when I kind of took a back seat from it. For me, I felt more comfortable being, you know, a child molester than a pretty flower. Just got an X certificate.